bring in Governor Scott Walker to not only talk about what's happening over in Milwaukee, but also talk about a little bit about what was happening with that speech. But first things first, the violence. We had day 3 last night in wake of the police shooting, but there are rioters ignoring the facts about this entire case. Governor Walker, night 3 was a lot calmer than night 1 and night 2, correct?
Yeah, it was very calm. The update I got from folks on the ground, from our state patrol and from the Wisconsin National Guard, was that things were very quiet. I think thanks to a combined effort, I met with the chief yesterday and the mayor of Milwaukee. I talked to Sheriff David Clark last night, and overall, it was a good effort. Combined effort between the deputies, police officers, and state patrol kept everything safe, and I hope that's a good sign for Sherman Park neighborhood, where the overwhelming majority of people are good, decent, honorable people. I know that neighborhood well. My kids actually were born just a few blocks from there. And they don't want the people there protesting, or not protesting, but rioting any more than anyone else does.
Governor, did the protesters get it wrong? Did they ignore the facts? Because you have a black officer that shot another black man who had a gun pointed at him. And then you have these individuals, these protesters, who are looting and starting fires, and then they're targeting white people. Have they gotten it wrong?
Well, I think part of it, unfortunately, you have people who are looking to target some of these businesses who ended up being criminals. If you're going to burn up a business like the gas station that was targeted and some of the others, they are criminals. I don't think they reflect the vast majority of people, not only in the city, but even in that neighborhood. I think you had people who are looking for an excuse to do this, and they tried to do it under the guise of a protest. And I think people have clamped down on it. I give praise not only to law enforcement, but to many of the pastors and faith-based leaders who I'm going to visit with later this morning as well, and thank them for stepping up and saying, we got to get this under control. We've got to control our neighborhoods.
Were those people arrested? Did they go after them? I mean, you can't burn a business and then get away with it.
There have been a number of arrests both Saturday night and early Sunday morning, and again Sunday night. Thankfully, things were much more peaceful last night, and we expect that that will continue. But those people will be held accountable for the crimes that they committed against that gas station and other businesses.
Sure. Well, that's good. Law and order, that's Donald Trump's message. However, yesterday, I believe it was in Scranton, Hillary Clinton had another observation about what's going on out there in Milwaukee. Listen to this, Governor.
Look at what's happening in Milwaukee right now. We've got urgent work to do to rebuild trust between police and communities and get back to the fundamental principle: everyone should have respect for the law and be respected by the law. On all these important challenges, you have to ask yourself, is Trump up to the job? He's giving a speech.
Governor, is Hillary Clinton right there when she says we've got to rebuild the trust between the police and the communities? Is that what happened out there?
Well, I think comments like that are just inflaming the situation. I think people understand that in that neighborhood in Sherman Park and in Milwaukee, they want law enforcement to step up and protect them. The people who live in that neighborhood want police, they want the police in Milwaukee and the sheriff's department to step up and protect them. They don't want the criminals who were doing those actions against those businesses to do that. And I think statements like that and the lack of leadership we've had from the president on this issue only inflame the situation.
So Sheriff Clark, one of the things he said yesterday, he's just speaking at length over the last few days because he's needed most. He's the law and order guy. He said Milwaukee leads in these economic indicators, and no one wants to be first. In poverty rates, they're the 6th poorest city in America. It's an overall school failure. Milwaukee schools, K through 12, is one of the worst in terms of math, reading, graduation rates, and attendance rates. And black male unemployment in the city of Wisconsin is 32%. Is that the foundation of this unrest?
Well, I think there's two separate issues. Again, I think what you saw the other day are a specific group of individuals who use this as an excuse to target some businesses and commit criminal acts. That's completely unacceptable. The role of government at the city and state level, and even at that matter at the federal level, should fundamentally be about providing for public safety, and that's what we're doing right now. Are there issues there and across Milwaukee and across the country that need to be addressed when it comes to economic opportunity and better educational opportunities? Absolutely. It's why I'm proud that we've expanded educational opportunities, and we'll do so even more so in the future, because I trust parents, but I want to give them as many quality choices as possible, and I want to make sure that there are as many economic opportunities as possible. But more government isn't necessarily the answer. Getting government out of the way so that more entrepreneurs can start up more businesses and make more investments is the key. But you got to have a safe community. Who's going to want to invest in a neighborhood if you're having riots out there? And that's why we've got this under control.
Governor, what can we expect tonight? There's a town hall there. Sean Hannity's going to be interviewing Donald Trump there. That was already on the calendar before all this happened over the weekend there in Milwaukee. Will you be there, and what can we expect?
I will. I'll be there at the Pabst Theater where Sean Hannity is going to be with Donald Trump, and I'll be at the rally in Washington County, just north of Milwaukee, tonight as well. And I would expect, I hope, one of the things I've talked to Donald Trump, I talked to my friend Mike Pence, the great governor from Indiana, just last week, is that if Donald Trump's going to win here and win across the country, he needs to make it clear that the race is between him and Hillary Clinton. Right. Every day we talk about Hillary Clinton is a better day for him because people can see here and across the country she's fundamentally unfit to be the president. She lied about her emails, put our national security at risk. She lied to the families of those fallen in Benghazi and told them it was a video when it wasn't. And now we see even more evidence that there's a question as to where the State Department ended and where the Clinton Foundation started. A lot of crossover there that I think the American people want to know. Were foreign interests giving to her while she was Secretary of State at the Clinton Foundation?
Governor, real quick before you go, what is the state of the race right now between Hillary and Donald?
Well, it's a roller coaster here. You know, a couple days after the FBI report, the Marquette University poll came out. It was just a couple points difference between the two. Last week, that gap had accelerated, and Hillary Clinton was out on top. I think that's going to go up and down. A lot of it's going to depend on whether or not the focus is on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, or whether or not the national media talks about sideshow issues. If Donald Trump can keep the focus on her and give speeches like he gave yesterday, where he clearly lays out a very presidential approach as to how he's going to address important issues like the security and safety of our nation, he can win. If he gets off on other issues, it becomes much more difficult. People are ready for a change. Americans want to change. People here in Wisconsin want to change. Hillary Clinton is not a change agent. But if she gets people talking about other issues other than that, she can win. If Donald Trump can get the focus on her and how he's the true change agent, he can win.
Governor Scott Walker, appreciate your time in a very flammable moment in Milwaukee's history. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.